Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm glad to be available right now. We're going to go ahead and get started with our lesson. And the first thing I want to talk about before you attempt anything else, we have to keep in mind we have to have proper posture. Whenever you're sitting at the keyboard, you want to make sure that you're sitting at a pretty much 90-degree angle, but you're slightly leaning forward. And let your arms hang loosely from your shoulders, and the bench must face the piano squarely. So that's what you have to make sure. If it's off to the side, you don't want that. You want to make sure that it's perfectly lined up with the piano. Also, keep your knees slightly under the keyboard, your feet flat on the floor, and your right foot may be slightly forward, especially if you're using a pedal, but that's later on. But you may place a book or something under your feet if you want to be propped up. But you want to make sure that your hands are cupped over the keyboard. So you don't want to play flat-fingered or anything like that. Pretend like you're holding a knob on a door. That's how your fingers are going to be curled. That's wonderful. Something else I wanted to go over is your fingers. Now, each one of the fingers happens to be numbered. And as we know, we have a total of 10 fingers. And on each hand, we have 5 fingers. And the order of the fingers go as such. Your thumb is finger number 1. Your index finger is finger number 2. Your middle finger, as you see I'm wiggling them the most, that's number 3. Then you have your 4th finger. And your pinkies are going to be your 5th finger. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with your right hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with your left hand. And as you can see, just like a mirror effect, your hands are going to be reflexive. The numbers are going to increase going to your right with your right hand, and your numbers are going to increase going to the left with your left hand. Next thing, let's talk about piano tones. Tones are basically the sound that the instrument produces. Now, I want you to notice something. Whenever I press a note lightly, the sound is going to be quiet. But if I just add a little bit more strength, you see how the sound is louder? That's something to keep in mind for future music because that's going to add what you'll learn called dynamics. It's expression with music. Now let's go ahead and take a close look at the keyboard. Now, if you're in front of a keyboard right now, that's wonderful and terrific because there's something I want you to notice right now. You have a group of white keys and you have a group of black keys. Now I want you to notice something about the black keys. Notice how they seem to be in patterns. Patterns of 3 notes together and patterns of 2 notes together. Now I'm going to find the pattern of 2 notes. And you could do the same as well. Now I'm going to find the pattern of 3 notes. And you could go ahead and do the same. A nice little visual exercise for us. The next thing I want to talk about is the low sound of the keyboard versus the high sound of the keyboard. Now if you notice that we're going to move from left to right. And as we do that, the tones are going to be lower on the left, but higher on the right, as such. Now I'm slowly moving up the keyboard. And the direction I'm moving is to the right. And notice how the more right I go, the higher the notes. All the way to the very end. Now you should be pretty comfortable with the keyboard. And what I want to do is do a little song right now. And what we're going to do is find any group of the 3 keys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the group of 3 that's closest to the middle of the keyboard. Just because that is where we're going to actually learn a note in the future called middle C. So I don't want to be too far out. I want to be somewhere centered to where I'm sitting. So I'm going to choose this group of 3 keys. Now what I'm going to do is find the one part of the group that's on the right side. You have 3 notes. I'm going to choose the one on the rightmost part of the group of 3. Now I'm going to play the middle one. Now I'm going to play the most left one. Hear how that sounds? The tones. La, la, la. Now what I want you to do, I want you to take, if you recall our finger numbers, I want you to use 4, 3, and 2. Now, your 4th finger, I want you to connect it with the right note of the group of 3. Your 3rd finger, your middle finger, I want you to connect it with the middle note. And finally, your 2nd finger, I want you to connect it with the leftmost note. Now, the number pattern we're going to use is according to our fingering. It's going to be 4, 3, 2. Now you could go ahead. Let's do that together. 4, 3, 2. Now we're going to reverse it and go 2, 3, 4. Let's try that together. 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to play a familiar song that's going to use the pattern 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. You may recognize it as Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Let's try that together. The pattern is 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4. That's the first part. Let's try that again together. 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4. Excellent. Now the next part is 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. Let's try that together. 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. Now we take it from the top and add a new part. 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4. The next part is 4, 3, 3, 4, 3, 2. Now, let's put it all together and make the song. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. And that is our first lesson. I had a wonderful time, and I hope you did as well. And we'll see you next time. Mary had a little